Today's Wednesday, it's a Members' Day, and I've got with me today Lawrence Yule, who's a new Member of Parliament, who's going to help explain what some of the bills are about. We start off, though, with the swearing in of a new member, Nicola Valentine Willis. So I think the Valentine will have a bit of discussion, maybe a bit of humour in the House later on. We then go on to questions. The first one is a fairly straight patsy from Deborah Russell to the Minister of Finance. What recent reports has he received? We then have two questions from the Leader of the Opposition to the Prime Minister. Does she have confidence in all her ministers? Does she stand by all her government's policies and proposals? Pretty unusual to have two questions. It means that the opposition leader thinks he's got something which is pretty important, and then we'll go on. The question number 4 was a Green question, but it's been given to the National Party, and it's really interesting because the National Party's chosen to have a go at the government proposal to cut the state highway improvement budget, and that's it'll be interesting to see what the Greens think of that question being used that way by the National Party. Paul Goldsmith continues his questions to Shane Jones, another transport question, and question number 7 is the latest in the series from Melissa Lee to Claire Curran. Does she stand by all her statements and actions? So it has the potential to be a pretty interesting day in Parliament. I hope we can get through the other end of it not too unhappy. Lawrence, after the general debate, we go on to members' bills.
Well, this is an exciting day to get 5 members' bills, hopefully discussed in Parliament today. They actually happen to be 5 National Party bills, but that's by luck rather than design. They are bills which you put on the ballot, any member can do it, and they're drawn out. And so today we have a crimes bill, which basically increases the penalty for providing explosives to commit a crime. We have a social security bill which seeks to stop people who are on benefits or who are repeatedly fail to comply with community sentences, to bring in some tougher regimes there. And then probably the most significant one of the day is around pay equity. So this is a national members bill. Denise Lee is attempt to get pay equity legislation brought back before the Parliament. And then Harati Hapango has a bill on health and safety that basically carves out small volunteers organisations from being having to comply with health and safety regimes. And later in the afternoon, if we get to it, the administration of justice reform for contempt of court, brought in by the Honourable Chris Williamson. So there's a fair range. It's a good day for members of Parliament, particularly opposition members of Parliament, to get something before the House and have it properly debated.
The final bill, which we may not get to tonight, is one which Chris Finlayson's been working on for quite a long time. It's one I think has got a lot of support from across the Parliament, so much support that it might end up being a government bill if in fact it gets through this first part.